The bubble gum thing. That. Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Welcome, everybody. I'm letting a few more people in. If you would, could you mute so we can get rid of the background noise? Thank you. Hello, John. Hello, Steve. Hello, Laura.
Hello.
I'm going to give it just a minute more and then plow ahead. Got 6 participants so far. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I might have to pause and let people in as we go. Hi, this is Ken Howard. I am the president of FaithX, and I drew the straw for today to be with you all in our final drop-in session before the doldrums of summer. So I'm glad that you are all here. I'm going to share my screen. And there we go. So here's our agenda for today. I'm gonna, as usual, we have a welcome and a check-in, and we always ask people to just give their name, their diocese, and their congregation, and we usually put a question to think about in terms of your introduction. So if you could give your name, diocese, and congregation, and how you all plan to sustain momentum and motivation over the summer. By the way, it's being recorded. This is our practice, so that the people who can't be here can have a copy of it to view. Who'd like to go first?
Well, I'll volunteer. I'm John Randolph. I'm from the Diocese of Pennsylvania. Congregation is Trinity Memorial Church in Center City, Philadelphia. How we're going to sustain momentum and motivation over the summer? Good question. However, we are starting shortly a second 90-day MicroStrategy. And
Yes.
we here became interested in the notion of registering people to vote, because in the recent primary, it was only 18% the people who voted. And it's very discouraging to think about the fact that there's so few people who are civically minded, who understand the importance of civic duty. And this is something that I think as a community, as well as a nation, that we have to address. Now, of course, this is going to be a local effort, but every bit counts.
Okay, thank you. Laura, would you like, or Steve?
Yeah, I was going to continue the Diocese of Pennsylvania. I'm Steve Lindsay, or Reverend Steve Lindsay from the Diocese of Pennsylvania, from the Church of the Ascension, almost as far west from Philadelphia as you can get, in our diocese. We've had good success with our work with his family. We just blessed the person's new home this last week, and we're in a transition period with that project because it's now going to be sort of getting into support mode for her. So that's part of what's going to happen this summer, and then I would like to get my people together again to sort of motivate, maybe come up with another 90-day MicroStrategy to maybe start in August or in the fall.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Laura, you got your hand up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Laura Simpkins. I'm from Northern California. It's St. Clements, and in Rancho Cordova, California, just outside Sacramento. And you know, we did a 90-day MicroStrategy, which has led to a project that we're going to undertake, and it's going to be undertaken in the summertime. So there's some background noise here. Just a minute. Yeah, but we're planning to do a special project over the summer, which is really pretty well adapted to the summer. So that's what we're going to do.
Give us
Well,
about what it's about.
Sure. I didn't know if that was the time for that, but
Oh, sure.
yeah, we were, you know what, we had been taking walks around the neighborhood and observing the neighborhood, and we did a lot of observation sheets. And at one time, I think I submitted to somebody one of our observation sheets. I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, we and out of that, we determined we have a woman in the congregation who actually goes around cleaning up the community by herself. You know, she goes around and picks up trash in the community, and she loved these walks, and she pretty much led them. And when I came to her and said, maybe we could put together a team that can do this kind of thing, she was ecstatic. So what we're planning to do is to buy reflective vests with the name of our church on the back of it,
Okay.
and some grabbers and some biodegradable bags, and go out and pick up trash once a week. So in the early morning when it's still cool here in Sacramento. And I think it'll raise our visibility, and it's something we're doing without asking for anything in return.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, who wants to go next? We got Barbara and we got Fran.
I can go next. Sorry, it took me a little while to get my things sorted out here. I'm with the Diocese of Arizona, out in the rural part of the state in Benson, and we've been practicing our ability to shift focus with our 90-day project. So we're getting a lot of good work done. We're very satisfied with that. We had a nice dinner last week to recognize some of our community collaborators in the project that we did to get a formerly unhoused, unemployed gentleman housed and employed. But this summer, we are going to have to take a pause. I've been the team leader, and I'm in formation now for the diaconate and beginning my internship during the summer. So I will be out of my congregation. My partner in this has some medical issues and won't be able to continue. So our Bishops Committee is taking that on as part of their discernment of goals and vision. And we'll see what they can work out for continuation.
Okay. It looks like you won't have any problem staying yourself motivated and having momentum.
Right, but
Yeah.
not my congregation.
I know. Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
that's probably gonna keep you really busy.
I'll be busy,
Yes.
indeed.
And then I guess that leaves Fran. Fran, would you like to unmute and answer the questions? Hello, Fran. Well, I guess Fran must be away from her phone, or however she has joined us. So I'm gonna, if she comes back, I will let her check in and answer the questions also. So one of the things that we do each time is have some kind of tool or strategy that we can share with you that could be useful to you. I have been doing this thing that we call population segment analysis and targeting in the Diocese of Maryland with some success, and also, I mean, as part of the VIP project, and then here with a couple of congregations in the Diocese of Western Oregon that are not in the VIP. But it's a way that you can use MapDash and the Neighborhood Insights report to find out how you can get more people like the ones you've got, and also how to find out where to go to find the people that you're currently missing. So I'm going to share I've already shared the screen, but I'm going to bring up this this story map from St. Aidan's Episcopal Church in Portland. And so, as you know, everything that we do is based on research. And one of the things that we have learned is that people tend to live, people who live in a neighborhood which has a certain population it is excuse me, I can't talk this afternoon. So every neighborhood has a dominant population segment for the most part, and we find that people who live in that area tend to match up with that population segment. And so we're able to, by using your membership list, we're able to pull your membership list onto MapDash and identify who the people are in your congregation, what population segment they represent. And you can see that here for St. Aidan's here. These are their internal populations based on our analysis. And you also can find out which are the.
Excuse me, Ken, is there any way you could make those charts a little bigger, or is that not possible?
Let's see. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Hang on. Let's see. Let me try one more thing. And publish it again. Well, it's a tiny bit bigger, but I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you this whole presentation, and you'll be able to look back through it yourself. So what we do is, like I say, we geotag the membership. We map the membership addresses and assign to them a dominant population where they live. Then we look for congregational predominance, and we rank it by percentage. And you'll notice over here that the four top population segments are one called front porches, another one called the elders, another one called green acres, and another one called diverse convergence. But with 24% of the population in the congregation, front porches has the lead. Then we look at the community predominance and we rank that by percentages. front porches is predominant in the community, with 36% of the population, 36,000 people, 26% of the population. Emerald City is next, Parks and Rec is next, Bright Young Professionals follows that, and when Metro Fusion, and then all others make up another 45%. So I'm not going to go into the details of precisely who the descriptions of all of these. When if we do this for you, we'll have this spreadsheet that we'll share with you, and then you can actually click on the actual on the actual name, and it'll take you to a description of it. So I'm really just, it's going to be the dominant populations are going to be different for each congregation and for each community. So it's just more important to show you how we do it. So then we compare the congregation with the community. And when we find what's dominant in the congregation, we call this a pastoral evangelism opportunity. If all you have to do is get your people in the congregation to be willing to just share about themselves with their neighbors, you end up naturally getting more of what you already have. But you'll also find that there's a population segment or more that's dominant in the community, but underrepresented in your population, and that is what we call a missional evangelism opportunity. In other words, an opportunity to reach those that are not at the table. So the biggest opportunity that this congregation has for pastoral evangelism is front porches. The biggest evangelism opportunity that they have for their congregation is Emerald City, and another one called Parks and Rec. So, and you see it identified there. So you might think of these are the fishing holes. I mean, these are the fish, and then where are your fishing ponds? So what we do then is we go on MapDash, we pull up a thing called generational predominance, and it displays in each block group the dominant population. So you'll see here we've mapped out front porches, Emerald City, and Parks and Rec. And each where it says 8E, all of those are potential targets, potential new people for the congregation. 8B is the same. And then we have 5C is the third, the third opportunity located around the congregation. The congregation is here. And so you can see in terms of the kind of people that the kind of population segments they're going to want to try and go after, it's just really all around them. So then the next thing that we do, they are also, because they're an aging congregation, they want to target younger populations as well. And so we pull up the map, which is age by generation, and we use the same method and map it over the locations of all of the member households. Then we compare those and see where they overlap. And by doing that, by looking for areas that include the targeted population segments, the predominance of millennials and Gen Z, and current household members, those are going to be your best fishing holes, if you will, for people. And then we prioritize those in terms of closeness to the church and number of households. And so if you can see here that there's two places in which there's both target population, the the target generation and 4 people in this one and 4 people in this one. So these are 4 households, I should say. And so, these are the top 2 priorities for neighborhoods for this congregation. There are also others that could be productive as we move out from the congregation, which is here. There's one called Wood Village. They have a member household there. This neighborhood over here would be number 4, and this would be number 5. What this does is kind of get you away from trying to identify every possible person you could get everywhere, but find the neighborhoods that are going to be the most productive for you. And this is giving them an opportunity then to focus on places that are close to their congregation, that they already have people in, that have both the kinds of people that they already have in the congregation plus the people they're missing, and it has the generational balance that they're looking for.
And
so let me stop there. Yeah.
Yeah, just a question. So I think the blue dot there in the center is where the parish is located.
Right. Yep, that's it.
And then how far out do you go, like diameter, like number of
We
miles?
we use a 15-minute drive time.
15-minute drive. Okay.
And I'm not showing that on here, but the 15-minute drive time, if you just follow the arrow, the 15-minute drive time kind of comes along the Columbia River here, goes down Troutdale, into Gresham, and then comes back along here, just over Interstate, right up to Interstate 205, and then back up. So this area that I focused in on is basically a 15-minute drive. And we choose that because people just don't travel. For the most part, people won't travel any more than 15 minutes to get to church.
Sure.
I mean, I'm right off the bat making myself a liar because I travel 17 minutes to St. Aidan's, this church. Any other questions about this? Does this sound like something that if we were able to do this for you, that this would be useful to you?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a tool like we would submit, like our parish directory or something like that, with the addresses and all, and then you all would code them and put them into the system, or is it something that
we would code them,
okay,
and do that work. We're working with Data Story, the people who develop MapDash, to automate that process. So we're really looking forward to that. So we don't have to spend quite so much time counting up.
And then what's the finished product? Do we just get a report like you just showed, or do we get something online that we can sort of manipulate and play with a little bit?
You get what I just showed you, and we usually have a narrative that goes along with that describes that. We don't just leave you looking at the neighborhoods and trying to figure them all out. So we put a narrative along with it that explains what's there. Now, one thing that then is useful then is that what we can do is we can work with you, taking your diocese MapDash, and do it for you while you watch. Lay them up there again so that you can see the identity of the areas that seem to be, based on the analysis of your congregation, that it would be the most productive fishing holes, if you will, fishing for people. And the nice thing about that is then you get to see that, and you get to identify you can be looking at that when we come back and show you it again. You can look at that and you can say, "Oh, I know who's that. I know who lives over there." Well, those four households, they're going to be great if they were just to host something in the neighborhood. Because one of the things that we found is, as Laura was talking about in her area, or no, it was, I think it was, yeah, I think it was you. Yes, that that the best way to get people to come to your church is to go to their community and to host something, in their community that's for them.
Mhm.
The worst thing that you can do is give people the idea that what you're after their bodies for numbers in your congregation.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this would be very helpful for,
Yeah, and then you can dive in. You can sit with the we've trained people in your diocese to use it, but we can also work directly with you, with the person on your diocese, so that you can not only have to look at at the two maps that I showed you, but you could look at other maps as well that described things differently. So like for example, if your congregation was, if let me just say, if you had the reverse situation of St. Aidan's, and you had tons of millennials and and Gen Z and no Gen Xers and no boomers, financially you're going to be in dire straits, and you might want to look out. You might want to try and identify people who are of that older generation. In other words, your congregation should match your community. So think about that, and if you want, then we can give you a hand with that. Yes, Barbara.
Yeah, and I do have a question.
Yeah.
We're a small rural community of 5,000.
Mhm.
And we have a couple of smallish subdivisions coming in, which is unusual for our area. We haven't had that kind of building in quite a while. Not a lot. I'll guess it's going to be about 150 housing units.
Mhm.
But the first time we've had housing in the community that hasn't been, you know, shabby, recycled, overpriced little rentals, I mean, how current is the underlying data for this? Because this is like happening at the moment that we're trying
Um,
to figure out who's moving in and what are they going to do.
yeah, all the data that all data that you can get anywhere gets tabulated at the end of a year.
Ah,
And so we're working with 2023 data. However, if you can visit your planning department, and they
mhm,
can produce a GIS, a GIS usable map. There's a acronym for that that I can't remember right now. But if they can produce a map that identifies those, we can pull that on too,
okay,
onto the map.
okay. I thought maybe we could also check with the superintendent of schools, because I know they're going to be eager to know, are there kids coming that they need to plan for?
Mhm, mhm. And it sounds like that right around the end of the summer is when you're going to have to be really having a focus on
Hmm.
those communities, because that's when they're going to try and put their kids to school.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure, sure. Any other questions that you all have about this? Okay. Well, then I'm going to stop sharing. Well, not, I'm going to start sharing. No, I'm going to start sharing again. And I'm am going to take us back to our agenda. Zoom always manages to put something in the way. There we go. So then that leaves us with question time. We
Yeah.
figured that one of the questions that you'd have is if you had any questions about the sharing our learnings gathering that we're having, or wanted to share about how you're preparing. Do you have any questions about the upcoming sharing our learnings gathering?
Ken, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yay. This is Fran. I was
Hi,
talking
Fran.
the whole time before. I did updates yesterday and now nothing is where it belongs.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, I am here, I have been.
Okay. So you were able to see the thing that we were presenting?
Yes,
Oh, great, great.
thank
So
you.
tell us your name, diocese, congregation, role, and how you all plan to sustain momentum and motivation over the summer.
I am Fran Ford. Our
Yes.
diocese is Pennsylvania, and we are St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Oaks, Pennsylvania. We did our first blood drive ever as our first 90-day project, and it was very successful. And we have 2 more coming out as a result. One is July 1st, so we will be busy with that. We're ramping up right now to get the word out on that one. And then we have a very special one in September. We lost one of our parishioners,
I'm sorry.
and at our first blood drive, his wife said she would like to do a blood drive because that was the cause of his death, a blood problem, on the date of the anniversary of his death. So on September 12th, we will be doing a memorial blood drive as well. So we think that's going to keep us busy. As a matter of fact, I asked for 2 more people on the committee.
Great, great.
So we need, there are just 4 of us now, and we're all busy with all kinds of other stuff, as is everyone else. But we also did a spaghetti dinner, our first one since before COVID. So that one was the end of April. And now we'll do, we have a fraud one that the Upper Providence Police Department is putting on for us, for the community. I think that one's the end of September. So we'll bring the community in for that one as well. So we have some things planned, but we need to keep, I think we're covered for the summer because we do have so many people away for one thing. But picking up in the fall is where we're going to need help getting ramped up within the parish.
All right. Okay. Thank you for jumping in. Barbara?
Yeah, sorry. Another thought that we had started kicking out around, and it's related to the new community that's being built up. We're in an area where we suspect that a lot of the people moving in are going to be escaped Californians. And so that they might normally gravitate back into Tucson, which is just barely under an hour from here. And so we were considering in October, but I like your idea of timing things for whenever they have to sign up for school. And maybe we'll do 2 things, kind of a know your community, get acquainted thing that might be funded and driven by the local businesses, but it could be our volunteers out there distributing, I don't know, coupons or information or something of that sort to to the residents in the area, maybe Saturday morning walkabouts, something of that nature.
Oh, great, great. By the way, I'm a California escapee.
Yeah. Well, so am I. There you go.
Actually, it's a series of escapes.
Yeah.
I escaped Lubbock, Texas when we were 5. When I was 5, then went back to Maryland, and then now we escaped Maryland, and we're out here in Gresham, Oregon. So as you were as you were talking about new people coming in, it occurs to me, I've always got my eyes open for things that I can creatively steal and pass on to other people. So my daughter moved into the area about a year before we did, and then twisted our arm into moving out here. And she's like, her house is like 2 or 3 blocks from the local community church. And they keep an eye out for the people who are moving in. And within a month of the time that she moved in, they delivered a nice full bag of groceries.
Mm.
It said, "This is from us, no obligation, we just want to be good neighbors." Boom. And she said, "Well, that's attractive." Saved her a trip to the store that week.
Mm-hmm.
So, other questions, either about the sharing our learnings gathering, about MicroStrategies, about our partner resources, anything.
No. I sent my report to our diocesan coordinator, and I'm figuring he forwards that on to you, or do you need yours directly?
Oh, you can do it. We like them to look at it first and
Okay.
add their own comments. Uh, but it doesn't hurt if
Okay.
you send it to us directly too, you know.
Thank you.
Other questions?
When I was many years younger, I was moving around a lot. And one of the things I always did, because I had young children, was to, before I actually got to the new place, I subscribed to the local newspaper so that I could kind of read up on it ahead of time. And I know people don't use paper newspapers a lot anymore, but that might be something you consider when you call on your new neighbors, Barbara, is to take one or 2 newspapers to like decide which one they like best. But it really gives a person a sense of what's going on.
Okay. We've actually done some research on advertising churches through newspapers, and what we found is that if you put it on the religion page, nobody will read it. Very few people ever read the religion page. So what we found out with the local newspapers is if we can get it on the first or second page, or perhaps even better yet, on the school sports page, then it's more likely to be productive for you.
Right. Well, and we've had good success, actually, again, small rural, with posting just 8.5 by 12, 11, whatever it is, bright colored paper, simple posters at popular gas stations, breakfast spots, that kind of thing. And also using our little, very local online Benson buy, sell, and different little websites like that. We get good responses from those, and they don't cost us anything noticeable.
Speaking of websites, another bit of research we did was people using bumper stickers on their cars. And we found out that if you do a very detailed bumper sticker, nobody will read it. That we found that the best response we get from bumper stickers, in terms of the research we've done, the best response you get is by just just putting your church's URL on a nice bright yellow bumper sticker with on black letters. And then
What we've, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Go.
No, what we've started doing is putting a QR code on our business cards, and pretty much everything, all of our flyers and stuff that we put in the community organizations or businesses. The QR code is, of course, we're looking for younger people, and man, they got that QR code thing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. At the last congregation that I was at, when we put up our church sign had deteriorated, and so we created a new sign, and fully 1/3 of the sign is a giant QR code.
Yay.
So that people can, say to their, to their husband or wife who's next to them in the car, honey, lean out the window and get that QR code. Anything else? Has anybody had a chance to check out our partner resources?
No.
No? Well, let me just put in a plug for that as well. What at FaithX we try and stay in our own wheelhouse, which is data grounded discernment and planning. But at some point in the planning process, you will find out that you have certain needs. And we want to have people that we trust, that we can refer you to, that will give you good help, but also a discount. We've arranged for a discount for every one of these, a minimum of 5%. So all of these organizations on this sheet, I will make sure you get a copy of this with the email that I send out. Can provide services. You just identify that you were referred by FaithX, and you'll get a 5% discount. And we identify on this, the name of the organization, the kinds of things that they're good at, and then who to contact. So just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here's an interesting one of our early partners is GSB Fundraising. They will not only help you fundraise, they'll help you fundraise for the consulting that you get from them. So, all right. And if you hear of a good resource, we like to add it, we'd like to follow up with them and add them to our list. Okay. Well, any other questions before we call it a day?
Sure, Ken. How do we get your population segment analysis and targeting information?
You would just contact your specific FaithX representative in Northern California and Diocese of Arizona. That's Steve Matthews, Steve at faithx.net. For the Diocese of Pennsylvania and the Diocese of Pennsylvania, Diocese of Mississippi, it's Mary Francis, Mary at faithx.net, and for Maryland, it's me, Ken at faithx.net. And if you can't remember and you're not sure who's who, you just send it to info@faithx.net and all three of us will get it. But
Thank you.
make sure that you CC your diocesan rep. Because we don't want to work around them, and we want to work through them. Is that helpful, John?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. I've been the one mainly doing this, so when they do it for you, I'm going to be looking over their shoulders the first time that they do it.
Well, thank you for your help.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else?
Just real quick, do we need to generate the geo tracking codes, or do you guys do that?
No, we do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We use the NIR for the neighborhood insight report for your congregation, and we use MapDash. And we also, in the process of doing this, we want to be able to train your diocese about how to do this exact same thing. So yeah. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay. Well, I guess I'll release you to go to dinner or take your run or ride your bike or whatever you're going to do at this hour, uh, and say to you, go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Amen.
All right. Bye-bye. And I'll make sure that you get the recording and the presentation deck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.